Are you a young family that's considering moving to Cochrane, Alberta? If so, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to talk about the two communities that I feel are the best bang for your buck and best places to live in Cochrane, Alberta to raise a young family. Now, Cochrane, Alberta in general is a super safe community, so any of the communities in this town are going to be a safe place to raise your family. But two communities I think really shine above the rest, and those two communities are Fireside and Sunset Ridge. Now, the reason I love Fireside so much for young families is that there is two elementary schools located inside of that community. First, it's Fireside is the public education Rocky View education K-8 school. And in the same parcel of land is Holy Spirit Elementary, which is the Calgary Catholic School District elementary school. Currently, it's operating at a K-7, but I would expect it to mimic Fireside and move to K-8 as those students age up the next year, which is what they've been doing for the last couple. The great thing about having both of those schools inside of the community is that your kids can walk to their elementary school, or you can take a short drive down the road and they're not having to take a long bus in order to get to the school. They're not having to cross a highway to get to school, and it's not taking you outside of your community to drop them off on those colder days. Now, as the kids age out of those elementary schools, they do have to go to Bow Valley High School, which is just a short drive across Highway 22 into the River Song community right beside the Willows. So again, not a far commute. You don't have to go north-south on that highway. You just have to cross it. So a pretty easy drive for those newer drivers in high school, and also not very far out of your way to take those kids to school, and they can still ride their bus. So the location and the close nature of those schools is what really drives Fireside to me as being one of the best places to raise a young family. Now, speaking from experience, I have friends who bought in Fireside and now will not move out of that community until their kids are out of that K-8 age range. Just being, it is so convenient for them as a family to have their kids close to their elementary schools. The other great thing about Fireside is that it's located on the south side of Cochrane. And so for those families that are really big into mountain sports, in the summertime, recreating and camping west of Cochrane and into the Kananaskis area, or in the wintertime, experiencing being closer to the ski hills of Sunshine, Lake Louise, Nakiska, and all of the winter activities in Kananaskis. Fireside has a quicker access to that area, being south of Cochrane and south of the river, because you have such a quick and easy access to go south on Highway 22 and connect onto Highway 1 and head west. Now, Fireside also has a really good mixture of homes for the young family. There's lots of duplexes in the community, lots of single-family laned homes, which are typically a little bit more affordable than your front attached car garages. However, they do have a good amount of the front car attached garage houses as well. The next big thing about Fireside, as I mentioned in the community tour, is that, hey, it's got some basic amenities right at the start of the community. And if you want to know more about Fireside, click the link in this video and you can watch a little bit more there. Those are just my reasons on why Fireside is such a great community for young families. Now, the second community that I really think is a great community for young families to move to and raise a young family in Cochrane, Alberta, is Sunset Ridge. Now, Sunset Ridge is a much larger community than Fireside, with almost double the amount of phases, double the amount of homes. With that, there is more pathway systems inside of Sunset Ridge and a larger central lake feature that kids can ride their bikes around, and a few more playgrounds. There's 2 or 3 playgrounds in Sunset Ridge, whereas really there's only one main playground currently in Fireside. So there's a little bit more to do for the kids in the actual community in Sunset Ridge just due to its size. Now, Sunset Ridge also has a K-8 school in Ranchview Elementary, and that is located at the southeast portion of Sunset Ridge. So kids can still attend a elementary school within their community, but the next thing that Sunset has is it does have a high school inside the community. Now, the high school that is located inside of Sunset Ridge is St. Timothy High School. So it is a Calgary Catholic School District high school. So if your kids are wanting to remain in Sunset Ridge to go to high school, they would have to transition into the Calgary Catholic School District system. Sunset Ridge right now does have, like I said, more playgrounds, more pathways, and is close to the ranch house area of Cochrane and has access to some of the ranch house pathway systems that will take you out and you can recreate a lot further outside of the community than what is in, say, Fireside. Now, Sunset Ridge also, because of the size of its community, does offer a larger range of home styles. There's multiple condominium buildings right as you come off the highway. There's duplexes, townhouses, all the different variations of detached homes with laned and front attached garages. And there's also an estate area of the community called the Pinnacle. So whatever style of home you're looking to purchase, Sunset Ridge has something for everybody. Now, to find out a little bit more about Sunset Ridge in particular, you can click on my link here to go through that tour video. All in all, I think both of these communities are really good for young families. There is a small drawback right now, in my opinion, to Sunset Ridge for the next couple of years, and that is that you have to come south on Highway 22 to get to work, to get to all of your amenities inside of Cochrane. And right now, for the next couple of years, that highway construction at Highway 1A and Highway 22, which I'll kind of show you on a map where it is right now, is going to be under construction. And the construction is pretty vast. They're putting in a big interchange. So it's causing a lot of delays in traffic currently. So living in Sunset Ridge, if your kids aren't yet in school, you're maybe just worried about your commute to work. But as your family ages and as you get into wanting to get into downtown Cochrane, for the next couple of years at least, Sunset Ridge is going to be slightly more difficult to get into Cochrane than Fireside. Not to say that Fireside is unaffected by this construction, because if you come down the hill on Highway 22 to get into Cochrane that way, you will run into the backup of that traffic. But Fireside also presents a second option to get into downtown Cochrane, and that it would be driving across Highway 22 onto River Heights Drive and continuing along down to Bow Bend and coming around by the Spray Lakes Family Sawmill Center and in the back way. So with Fireside having a second option of getting into Cochrane, I feel like for the next couple of years at least, it has a slight edge in convenience than Sunset Ridge. The two communities itself, though, I think are the best fit for young families, being that you have a solid K-8 in each one of the communities that your young kids can attend without having to leave your community. If you have any other questions about these two communities or other questions about communities in Cochrane, I would be happy to answer those. And if you have an idea for something that I haven't touched on that you'd like to know more about in Cochrane, Alberta, reach out, drop that in the comment section below, and I'd love to help you learn more about Cochrane, Alberta. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.